No, I'm streaming right now.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey. What's going on, guys? Welcome. Let's see. Always happy to see bug hunters on Twitch. Yeah, there's a few hanging around now, I think. And what I'm working on right now is building some bug bounty automation. So I have a few videos on it on my YouTube, and I've done a couple streams before, but right now I'm just trying to make some serverless functions to basically pull data out of my central database and stuff like that. So I have a lot of it built. Like you can see on the left are some of the few workers that I think there's a few more than what's on the left there in the workspace, but I have a few workers going on right now, and then they'll run in the background and they'll dump data into a central database. So we're going to try and right now I'm trying to write a function that will add in new seed domains. I have to write another serverless function that will onboard a whole program, like from HackerOne or BugCrowd. And then there's some other functions I might want to add about, just pulling data out and stuff. So you can see, for each seed domain, how many domains you have and stuff like that. But yeah, welcome. Oh, interesting. So Mega's the Tom Nom Nom one, right? So I'm on the right track. And you're basically trying to fuzz 403 responses to see if you can bypass the 403? Is that what you're saying? Any tips for specific features? I guess tips on specific features. If you watch any of my videos, I don't know if you do, I guess I would count it as a feature, but I containerize all my automation and break it into workers, which is like basically the way most modernized software is built. So I would look into that. Makes it a lot easier to develop, makes it a lot easier to update and change and add to and all that kind of stuff, and makes it really easy and cheap to deploy into the cloud. As far as features, as in like something to test for, I guess I always recommend people that ask me something like that to branch out from just running tools that already exist or doing things that people already talk about like pretty openly. So, and just go like that one extra step that maybe some other people won't do, and you'll break away from a lot of competition. So like a decent example would be like if you're doing subdomain brute forcing, like maybe do recursive subdomain brute forcing, and then take those domains that you find and do like alteration scanning or permutation scanning, depending on who you ask. And it takes a lot of hardware and takes a lot of work, but it's the perfect thing to do automatically, and especially against bigger scope stuff. You're gonna find those like really niche, like hidden domains that a lot of people won't find that are just running like Subfinder. So something like that. Same thing, like if you're looking for takeovers, look for more than just CNAME takeovers, because there's CNAME takeovers, which is like your average Joe subdomain takeover, but there's like NS server takeovers, there's MX server takeovers, there's zone takeovers, all that kind of stuff. So there's really weird ways to gain a little bit of expertise and niche down in a couple areas and just do like that extra one or two steps that a lot of people aren't doing. And I think you find a little bit more success with automation that way, rather than just doing what like everyone says to do online and like piping a bunch of tools together. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I've used Meg a little bit, I think, in the past, but haven't used it a whole bunch recently. But yeah, I know a lot of people love the tool, and that sounds like a cool idea. And it is fast. I have heard that. I definitely heard that. Yeah, I use all DigitalOcean right now. That's where I deploy all my stuff. I know there. I think I've had a few people mention that like a Linode or some of those smaller companies might be like a little cheaper or whatever, but no, they. I mean, if I hosted malware on their stuff, I don't know if they would get upset. But as far as like using their hardware for like fuzzing and brute forcing and stuff like that, no, at least not yet. And unlike AWS, like AWS makes you sign or like check mark that user policy that like you can't run security testing and pen testing off of their hardware unless you have like specific written permission, like in contract with AWS, where DigitalOcean doesn't have that. So that's why I think a lot of bug bounty hunters use DigitalOcean VPSs for their stuff. Even just like stuff that they hack off of in general. It's pretty nice. So I haven't had an issue with them yet. At the same time, like I always make sure I'm not using 150% of the CPU. Like if I gotta scale up, I scale up. Like I make sure I pay for what I use and that kind of thing. I don't try and push it. And try and buy like the smallest box possible and use 110% of the CPU the whole time. Like I just scale up if that's what I need. But yeah, I haven't had any issues yet, and I don't think I've heard of anyone that has, with DigitalOcean at least. So far so good, I guess. So I use, I mean, technically it's multiple, but like I said, I containerize my automation and then deploy it on, like, for instance, in DigitalOcean, it's called the app platform. So let me see if I have it up. Yeah, so I have a few up right now. So yeah, it would kind of look like that. So this is actually my DigitalOcean that I have up right now. I don't have all my workers going because I have it all down for development right now. But I have some apps, I have some database clusters. So like this Redis is like my Redis queue. So I queue up jobs. The Postgres is like my central database. And then I have 2 workers running right now to like test them out. And then over in functions, I think I have a couple. I have 1 function right now. Over in my like serverless functions. Maybe it'll pull up. That actually will like queue stuff up every day. Yeah, so I have this runner down here. That's basically a part of this trigger. So this trigger for daily subscan, all it does is trigger this subdomain runner every day at 6 in the morning, I think, my time. And it really quick just like grabs all the C domains I have sitting in my database and shoves them into the Redis queue back here. So this Redis queue right here, and then it just like queues up a bunch of jobs. How are apps different from droplets? So apps look like this. So when you go, so I mean, they obviously run on a droplet, but like the whole droplet is managed. You just like deploy it using, like, for instance, you can deploy it just straight from code if you want, but I deploy it using a Docker file. So like I'll go to create an app Like if I wanted to like recreate my subdomain runner, I have a GitHub repo right here, subdomain worker, whatever. Like you can keep auto deploy on if you want. And then if I wanted to deploy it, I just tell it what, when the page comes up here, I want to deploy with the Docker file. So I have a Docker file in my subdomain worker Docker file. This is kind of what it looks like. It's just your normal, like if you've ever seen Docker before, it just sets up how you deploy into Docker. And I basically say it's a Docker, I edit my plan, and same thing. So this is where I'm choosing like the size of droplet it would be on. So you can choose whatever you want. Name it, give it environment variables. So that way, like that's how I connect it to the database. I did that in my most recent video. Like you just put all your database credentials and stuff in as environment variables to the container. Pick your region, name it, whatever you review, and you just deploy it and it'll build and run. Exactly. Yep. I don't have to SSH into it and build it manually myself and do any of that. It does it all for you. It'll build it from the Docker file, from my code, deploy it, and then it runs. And it'll run over and over again. So once it's done running, it'll just start polling for the next job. If there's another job in the queue, grab it, run it. So like here, I think it should be running right now. So I have this one running, and you can go look. There's like runtime logs right here. So it's like currently working. Like as it does stuff, it is basically currently working through all my C domains that got queued up at 6 o'clock this morning. And if there's no domains in the queue for it to do, like if it's in between daily scans and stuff like that, great. It'll just sit there and pull for new jobs. And if it goes down or breaks or anything like that, where it can't reboot itself, it'll just email me and I can go back through the logs and see what happens and whatever. Works a lot better than having to SSH into a shitload of VPSs, right? And I can scale this as much as I want. So like if I have one container of subdomain worker pulling one domain off the queue at a time, if that's too slow for me, that's great. I literally just deploy another worker and another one and another one. And I could have 5 of them and they'd be pulling all on their own, running it on their own, and putting data into the database on their own. So works out a little easier for me, at least. Do I have a GitHub repository for this project? Yes, I do, and I have people ask me about this. It is private right now. It's private right now, and one of two things are going to happen. Either A, I will pull out stuff that I don't want in there and make it public. Or I might just copy over the stuff I'm okay with sharing that's not, like API keys or something weird, or doesn't have anything weird in it, and just make a new repo that's public. Because again, this stuff is all getting deployed from GitHub, so I have to have my YAML files, my configuration stuff in there for it to deploy with the Docker file. But I've thought I might just pull those out and make a new repo that's public for people to look at. The other thing is, at some point when this is working, I'm gonna stand up an API where people can hit it too, and just put in seed domains that they're interested, or scroll through what seed domains I'm currently searching for, and just pull the data out. And I'll just make it available to everyone once I have it working. So I'm not sure exactly what it'll look like yet, but it's private for right now because it's definitely under development. So there's no point in making it public because it'll literally it'll change, and then it'll change again, and then it might refactor half of it and it may change again. So there's not really a whole point in making it public when it's changing so fast and getting added onto so fast. Like I said, it used to be Python, and I rewrote the whole thing in Go because I liked it better and it's faster. So it wouldn't have been that good if I made it public and then rewrote the whole thing and confused everyone and whatnot. So we'll see. But like I said, any questions you have about it, the actual code, is not private. If you have a question or want to see something, how I'm doing something or how I'm approaching something, ask, and I'll show you. it's in a private repo for development purposes right now. It's not in a private repo because I don't want to tell you. Another feature I've been implementing is a CMS. Oh yeah, that's cool. And so to answer your other question, is it for Recon or does it do vuln scanning too? One piece at a time. So that's basically how I'm developing it right now. Right now, basically all the workers I have do Recon, and I think I have a worker that I run sometimes. I took it down because I was building it. But I have one that checks for like takeovers of all different kinds. But the point is, once I get the Recon nailed down and really nailed to the wall and I'm happy with it, I can deploy it all and forget about it. Quote unquote, forget about it for a while. And then I'm comfortable that I'm actually collecting enough Recon data and I can fully focus on vuln scanning, fuzzing, all different kinds of like actual testing. But I don't want to half-bake Recon because, again, if the Recon sucks, I can throw nuclei and vuln scans and write my own templates and fuzz for XSS and do all that stuff I want to. But if the Recon sucks, then everything else kind of sucks. So it's a work in progress, which is, like I said, why we're working on it right now. But it's more Recon. Like I said, I think I have one worker for like nuclei that will run some of my templates and some basic ones, and then like a takeover checker on some of the domains I've found. I like the two like vuln scanny things that are out there right now. But there will be more. Again, like there's a bunch of like dynamic scanning capabilities that are out there now that I plan on implementing. And at some point when I really get it nailed down, like I really do want to jump into this AI stuff as well. It seems cool. It seems like a cool spot. So I don't know, it'd be nice. Again, like I talk about all this stuff in some of like I think it's just the playlist is just called automation on my YouTube channel. I have the whole like architecture in one of the videos and talk about data in another one and demo some stuff. So, and again, if you have a question about something specific, let me know. But yeah, it's interesting. And also, like I said, that's just the way I do it. So, not necessarily saying it's 100% right, but it's the way that happens to work for me right now. And I actually don't 100% remember. Interesting. Okay. I just gotta make sure I have the right insert statement here. Make sure I'm doing the right stuff. Okay. Let's go. I have to borrow call something from one of the workers here. Just borrow that function for now. Thanks for being here, though, guys. It looks like a couple of you guys are first-timers, and I missed the follow. Microservice, however you call it. Thanks for following. That's super dope. So basically, yeah, all I'm trying to do with this function right here is, like, if I find a new C domain, I try and onboard it with program C domain and program URL, and then I have a tested variable if I need it as well. So this is just, I'm just making a little function that I'll be able to hit that will just onboard new domains if I need it, if a new domain comes up. So do I use DNS permutation for subdomain scanning? Yes. Yes. That's another worker that's not on here. Again, that's one of the above and beyond things that some people don't do. I do it. Brute forcing, recursive brute forcing, and then permutation. And yes, I have a specific tool. I was using whatever it is, alt DNS, and I was thinking about making my own tool, but there's a new tool that came on Twitter that I really like, and let me see if I can find it for you, and I will link it, because I don't see a lot of people using it, but it's much faster, and it finds just about as many results in like way less time. So I love it. It's called Regulator. And if you go look at the GitHub for it, it explains how to use it, and there's also a blog page that goes along with like all the testing he did against like alt DNS and all these other like permutation testers. So go check it out. Crampit, I think, is the guy who does it. Super dope. Oh, you do use that one too. Nice. I love that one. Love it. Way faster, way less work on hardware. It's amazing. I use Subfinder, a mass passive, a mass brute, one for all, RipGen for permutations, and brute force with pure DNS on best DNS word list. Is there anything I'm missing? Let me see. So the one thing I would say is turn off a mass brute forcing. A mass is like the most hardware inducing, like frankly annoying tool to use. Should I switch RipGen with Regulator or both? Nothing hurts, because they're technically doing different things. Regulator looks for patterns and then implements those patterns as permutations, where RipGen just tests pure permutations. So they're not technically doing, like Hisco said, it tries to be smarter about it and speed it up, but it admits in the blog post it could still miss like a super niche one. Yeah, so I mean, I would probably maybe, like, if you really want to be in there, like maybe still use a RipGen and throw Regulator in, because Regulator runs really fast. But like I said, looking at your list before, I kind of messed with one for all, didn't really like it, but maybe a mass brute force I'd just turn off, especially if you're already doing brute forcing with pure DNS and best DNS. Like just turn off a mass brute forcing. It's terrible, frankly. It's terrible for brute forcing. It's kind of terrible for passive too, honestly, compared to Subfinder. I would throw find domain in that list. I think the 3 passive sources I kind of stuck to was a mass passive, Subfinder, and then find domain. Were the 3 like passive sources I use before we get into brute forcing and permutations and all that kind of stuff. What did I miss? Yeah, he's just use them all. Regulator, alt DNS, Gotator, and RipGen. Just hook them all up. It's probably fine. Yes, yeah, I use Nabu too in my port worker. My port worker is wherever it is here. Port worker, yeah, it's just Nabu. It's the same thing. Yep, Nabu's awesome. Because all I really use port scanning for, I actually don't have I don't have a bunch of automation that, like, if port 22 is open, like, great. but like I don't have any automation that does anything with that. So my automation I grabbed like the top 100 HTTP ports, and like that's what Nabu searches for. Like I don't search on all 65,500 and something, right? I just look for the top 100 HTTP ports, and then out of all those ports, that's what I go probe with like an HTTPX or something like that to try and catch all the web servers on, like all the open web servers. But like, quite frankly, like I don't catch a port 21. Like if someone's got FTP open, like great, I don't have any automation at least at the moment to, you know, test it. So I don't even waste the hardware looking for it right now. In the future, if I do, great, I'll add it in, but for now it's like all web testing automation. So, but yeah, Nabu, a lot of the project discovery tools slap, quite frankly. And they're all written in Go. So that's one of the reasons I swapped to Go. Because like Subfinder, you can just use the library. HTTPX, you can use the library. Nabu, you can use the library. Once I get into crawling, I haven't implemented crawling yet. Like when I get into, like I said, more vuln scanning and stuff like that, I'll probably use Katana's library as well. Yeah, I read about that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember exactly how I'm using Nabu right now, but I'm pretty sure it's basically just like passive port scanning and stuff. Yeah. Because yeah, I don't, especially since I don't care about all 65,500 whatever ports. Like I'd rather get it over with, get to the web ports and get out. Yep. Yeah. Both of those are solid as well. Yeah, that's probably what I'll use as well. Would be Gao for passive stuff, right? And then Katana for actually crawling. Because I put a blog post out on Katana working with Project Discovery. Actually, not sure if it's out yet. It might be out in a bit. But Katana's a real solid tool. I know there were some like little kinks and bugs in the beginning, but they fix them fast. They're all over it. So compared to other people's suites of tools, Project Discovery does some solid work. And they have some really solid tools. It's hard to beat. Hard to beat for sure. I think I might just this maybe. I don't need this on. I actually haven't used the new nuclei fuzzing templates, but like I said, when I get to the fuzzing steps, I'm definitely going to. That will be huge for fuzzing. Absolutely. The fact that there's now nuclei templates for fuzzing is huge, no doubt. Like I said, when you're coming from a speed aspect and stuff like that, absolutely. And I'll probably take some of them and see if I can tweak them and maybe like make my own or a couple of them. But yeah, I'll definitely be using those. Those would be, I would highly recommend those. It's A1. Again, it's just solid tooling for sure. Okay, let me grab my... connection. Camera's adding one. We don't need any of that. Yes, I do. I 100% do. I made a video on that too. Check that one out too, about making your own nuclei templates. Yes. I don't do it as often as I should anymore. I used to be like way into it, and I'll probably get way back into it, and I actually might try and automate some of it. At least telling me which ones I should write a template for. Like I'll automate the hunting for stuff that I should write a template for, but there's a bunch of cool tools out there for like CVE farming or whatever you would like to call it, where you can kind of make a little workflow of like kind of notifying yourself of new CVEs that have POCs out. And yeah, I made a video about it. Not specifically about it, but it's in one of the videos about like some of the advanced techniques. Again, like that's just one of the things going above and beyond other hunters that I think will glean you more results, personally, than putting a trick. Yeah, Trickiest does it. That might be one of the URLs I mentioned in the video, because I know I haven't really messed with. Yeah. So the Trickiest CVE one was one of the ones I was looking at. And then same thing, like CVE trends or CVE trending, whatever it's called, is another one where you can see trending new CVEs and like how exploitable and how like dangerous they would be. So you can kind of take trickiest lists on that thing, and then there's a tool called GoFetch that will actually fetch you the like top 10 trending CVEs, and you can kind of compare them. And if one of those match, where like there's a POC from the trickiest repo and it matches a trending one, it's probably a solid one to like try and shoot a template together for. So yeah. But yeah, I think I have like I see him pop up on Twitter now and then, like the trickiest people, but I've heard kind of mixed back and forth about their actual like product, like the thing where you go make a workflow or whatever. Also, like, I just personally struggle. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you don't 100% know they're giving you every domain. I guess. I don't know. I just don't trust it all the time, I guess. It's just, I don't know. Dang, it looks like we got up to like 4 or 5 viewers too. That's really cool. Any of you guys that aren't saying much or are just hanging out, still appreciate you being here. For sure. And if you guys have any questions or whatever, let me know. Or just want to say hey or shout out or whatever you want to do. It probably won't be like a super long stream. I have some stuff to do in a little bit, so it might go like another 30-ish, 40-ish minutes. Then I'm gonna have to head out, but I'm hoping I can get this working and maybe add in, make sure I test it and that it's working right, because that would be nice. Yeah, false positives will get you, for sure. I remember when I first like first got into all this automation stuff and was first getting interested in it, I was just doing the stuff where you just string tools together and run it. And I think like I strung a bunch of stuff together, ran it on like a VDP, just like something basic. And it did find a reflected cross-site scripting, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm the automation wizard! Like, let's go!" You know, it wasn't even gonna get paid for it because it was a VDP anyway. But obviously, it was a duplicate. It turned out to be a duplicate, but it's like still kind of cool. It's still kind of cool, and again, it's fun to try and make it better and make it more efficient, and you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's definitely. I haven't like turned all of mine on yet, but I have high hopes. I've ran some of it together, and I've found a few things with it. And I've actually ran it against like some domains for my full-time job too, and found some stuff. Will I be putting these streams on YouTube? It's a real shame Twitch doesn't seem to save your VODs, and I think these streams are great. I'm glad you think it's great. Hopefully there will be more streams. And I'm actually, for that reason, specifically what you're talking about, I will try and grab it and put it on YouTube. And that's why hopefully this D&B music, that's kind of our background music, is supposed to be DMCA free. So I think Twitch won't mute any of the VOD. But at the same time, I've also been thinking about maybe just doing the live streaming on YouTube also. One, because then YouTube subs will get to see it, and you won't have to sub in like 2 different places and go cross-platform and stuff like that. And 2, because YouTube will just slap the VOD on your channel as a video, and it's just there forever. And I don't have to worry about, you know, pulling this off of Twitch and then putting it on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So, but yes, right now the VODs only last for 7 days, I think, for me. So I will, if it's not like half of it's not muted or something dumb, I will pull the VOD and put it on YouTube. Absolutely. The only reason I haven't put other VODs on YouTube from some of my past streams is because I didn't play DMCA free music or whatever, and then I'd check the VOD and like half of it's muted. So it'd be like an hour and a half stream and like 30 minutes are audible. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of pointless. So yeah. Oh, really? I'm glad you liked it. Again, I'm hoping I can do some more of this, because I like, you know, again, like, what is it, Shelled Lizard? Like, it's cool talking to other people and seeing what other people are doing and answering questions. It makes it a lot more fun to kind of sit here and hang out and chat. You know, obviously I'm not, like, as, like laser focused on coding and getting as much done, but it's cool talking to you guys, cool talking to other people. I love getting DMs from you guys and coming in and chatting. But I'm glad you like the VOD, and like I said, hopefully this one will be pretty good. Again, it might be a little shorter, but I use this tool called Scent that pulls a bunch of templates from GitHub. Whoa. Yeah, that's a close one, yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. With the reading them first thing, yeah. I don't just like blanket run. When I was like had my nuclei worker running, I didn't just like blanket run every template against every site. And I don't think I run like any of the ones that need to call back, like for SSRF and stuff. And like, yeah, I guess you would miss it if it was there, but again, I want this stuff to be efficient and run fast. But I will be running all the fuzzing ones, like the fuzzing ones, and again, I might customize some of them or whatever. I'll have to read through them, but I pick and choose what I run, and yeah, like to read through them first and whatnot. But yeah, that can be terrifying. That can definitely be terrifying. That's like same thing as I think I one time when I was doing some like automated scanning way back in the day, I thought I brought down, like that's how I discovered Cloudflare existed. Was I thought I brought down a website like way back. This is like years ago. years ago when like Cloudflare blocked my IP, like I thought I brought the website down. Like my dumbass was like, holy shit, I brought the website down from all this traffic. When in reality, Cloudflare just had enough of my shit, or Akamai or whatever, their WAF, I just had enough of my crap and, you know, timed out my IP. But I thought I was, you know, that I just DDoSed someone's site and blah blah blah. But again, you live and you learn with some of this automation stuff. It's a lot of stupid mistakes to make, and I'm sure I still have plenty of stupid mistakes to continue to make. But that's part of it. I actually have to check for a couple things here. I said I think this might be some of the most steady viewers I've had, at least according to my Streamlabs or whatever. It says we're rocking anywhere from like 4 to 6 this entire time. I don't really know if that's true or not, but that's super cool that there's even a couple of you guys hanging out, and like I said, you guys in chat. That's awesome. I appreciate you guys being here. Super cool to see. I kind of work as a pen tester for my day job. So like obviously I do bug bounties. So I'm on Synack Red Team. I don't really do a whole bunch of HackerOne and Bugcrowd, but if I could get some folks to do it with, I think, like, and do like some collab stuff, I feel like I would get into it. It's hard to get into solo because like Synack's just a really nice response time. But as a full-time job, I'm like AppSec/CloudSec engineering. So I do pen test some of our stuff. But I kind of go a little bit beyond that too. So like setting up cloud environments, checking infrastructure, clusters, that kind of stuff, as well as like third-party tools and source code audits for some of our stuff and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of pen testing. I've done, I think, like in the past, it's been like my full like all 40 hours a week job is pen testing, but it is not as much right now. It's just like part of it is pen testing. So there is the CTF for Synack now. What is it? There's the, I think it's like Hack the Box, right? Does the CTF for Synack now? I joined like 4 years ago. Like I've been in, or 3 years ago maybe. So when I was in it was still the age when you applied and took a test to get in, and I don't even know if that's the way it works anymore. Maybe it may not be. I don't really know. But yeah, when I joined, it wasn't like the CTF track on Hack the Box or something like that. It was a CTF-esque like test, but you applied and they interviewed you, and if they liked you, you did a test where you had to break into so many things in a day or something, or in a week. You noticed in my latest video that I removed the last test. Yeah, so the last tested, I was going to try and use to like make sure every domain specifically gets tested daily and stuff like that. It's just a lot to track, and it's just not needed. I have the, like, again, with serverless functions, I make sure every domain gets seen once a day. Like every seed domain will get scanned once a day, for instance. Like that's super easy. So I don't need like a last tested, and I don't need to check and like yada yada. So I kind of phased out the last tested stuff. And then same thing, like for the subdomain already being in my DB, like, yeah, if I go to add a subdomain to the database, it's already there. I'm not going to add it again. Like it's already there. So I'm good, cool with it. Right. So yeah, if it's already there, I just skip it because I'm already tracking it. Right. So I have my, let me get the camera. I have my seed domains, and from those seed domains come subdomains, right? And if a subdomain's already there, I don't already have to add it. It's because it's already there. So it's already being tracked back to the seed domain. If it's not already in there, then you add it. Now that changes for me when you get to like resolving and stuff. So if I have subdomains over here and then I go to resolve them and see which subdomains resolve, that database I'm actively pulling and pushing into. So if there's a subdomain that resolved yesterday, but now doesn't today, I'll actually take it out of that resolved database, but it will stay in my subdomain database because it was still a subdomain that existed and may exist again tomorrow. But it's not resolving right now. So some of the other ones outside of just the all subs table that you're talking about do like pull and push out, but the all subs is just like my mastermind of every subdomain I've ever seen. Every subdomain that I've ever seen from either a passive source or like used to resolve for a seed domain is in that all subs database for me. I like pen testing. Yeah, I haven't done a whole bunch of network pen testing. It's kind of annoying. I agree with you. Kind of annoying. That's fair enough. I don't think I do like any network pen testing, really. So that makes it pretty easy. That I do not think I do much of. What about you, Shelled Lizard? Are you a pen tester full time? Or what are you full time? I'm a huge fan of the song. We're gonna skip this one. Okay, cybersecurity, but not a pen tester. Are you trying to swap over to be a pen tester, or are you just like messing around with bug bounties basically for fun? You liking where you're at? Oh, nice! Congratulations on recently graduating, though. That's kick-ass. How do you like post graduation, being in the real world? I think maybe we deploy this. Like I said, it looks like I got maybe like 15 minutes left, 20 minutes left before I gotta head out. So maybe we give this a savey poo and see if it works, huh? See if I can get it to work. Because then I can show you guys how easy it is to deploy serverless functions when I'm done here now. So, yeah, let's give it a shot. Because what is it? We look for domain, we look for platform, program URL, and then we insert it. Oh, sorry. If the insert works, then we successfully added the seed domain. Else, otherwise the seed domain is already in the database. Yeah, I know the feeling, Lizard. I know the feeling. It's a lot, yeah. The world's changing though. There's more and more people that are recognizing that people can become very good at, especially tech stuff, without university for sure. There's a lot of like boot camps, master classes, and then after that, it's kind of like a portfolio, right? Where you kind of just show your experience, and you don't need a piece of paper from a university that wants a shitload of money from you to put you through a tube. Absolutely. But yeah, sometimes the paper matters. Absolutely. Let's see here. Yeah. So I don't want to invoke. There we go. I want to deploy. So this is this command right here. If you guys can see it, can I? How do I make? Oh yeah, let's make it bigger. Bigger maybe. Yeah, so this command right here, so I have a namespace in DigitalOcean called golden functions that I think I showed, but I'll show it again. It can be like the last little demo point. So this is my namespace I made. You just can create a namespace in functions, and right now there's only one in there, the one for the daily sub runner or whatever, if it will load, whenever it loads. For some reason the functions take a while to load, but yeah, so I have the one function, automation subdomain runner. I put another one in there now, the one we've been working on in automation called add seed domain, right? So if I want to deploy, all I'm going to do is redeploy the namespace with the DigitalOcean control CLI tool. And if I messed up, it'll give me errors, and if I didn't mess up, oh wait, I already know I messed up. Hold on. So I have to go into golden functions, packages, automation, add seed domain, and I have to go mod init github.com. We're gonna add seed domain. Go mod tidy. Okay, I'm gonna do that. And then in this package, I have to go into go mod and make sure it's on go 1.7. There we go. Now we should be good to go. Now if we go back over here, clear that crap, and rerun it. Now let's see how it does. See if we messed up or not. Oh. The path argument must be of type string. Interesting. Oh, thanks for joining, man. See you later. I'm gonna be right behind you. Like I said, it might go another 5 or 10 minutes here, but then I gotta head out. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the chat. Huh. Why no worky? Received undefined. Interesting. So let's see what we got going on here. Not sure why we know likey here. Might have to be a little Google foo here on this error because it doesn't even look like it's giving me an error on my code. I'll have to see whatever this is. Let's try to see what happens. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, I see. So I think it's because I accidentally deleted one. I deleted the sample one from the beginning. be named automation. This one can just be named see what happens with that. Didn't error like it used to. It's an interesting choice of language. Yeah, I did the oh. There we go. Looks like it worked. Yeah, I did the Python route for a while. Golang worked a lot better, a lot faster for me, and it was really easy to learn after I'd already done Python for a couple years, so I like it so far. This is really like the first major project I've built in Go, but I like it. All right, so let's see. Do we have more functions now? Let's see what we got. There we go. There it is. Bada boom. So now we have the add seed domain function. And I actually have a yeah, so do I. I wish more companies started with it too. I know a few are finally getting into it, but we'll have to see. So let's try and add one here. Domain. See what happens if I do domain. What's one here? Acronis.com platform is hacker1. Program URL is going to be this one. Okay, so this should add it, hopefully. I think I heard MZHR Missouri sec or MZHRI sec, either one. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Really stick, yes. JavaScript for everything is terrible. It's terrible. I gotta turn down the light a little bit. It's getting dark. Yeah, JavaScript for everything is terrible. Absolutely. Okay, so I gotta go in a second here, but let me see if this works. If we built anything cool or not. Okay, save those. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, duh. I have to add my environment variables. Hold on, let me pull it off the screen. So I can add my environment variables quick. I'm gonna turn off the scene for 1 second. Just a second. So I can do my environment variable stuff in top secret, obviously, because in a stream full of hackers, I don't trust any of you guys. Sorry. Okay. Alright. Back to here. Let's erase that one. Close both. Let's turn the scene back on here. Scene back on. Perfect. And let's pull the screen back over. I do not do bug bounty for a living. It's a side thing for me. Absolutely. It's definitely a side thing. I'm a AppSec / CloudSec engineer full time. Is my thing. So are my parameters the same? Cool. All right. With gusto this time. What the heck? Did it not add my environment variables? Oh, it didn't add my environment variables. What the heck? I didn't hit save. Sorry guys, one more second. Let me I must have not hit save. Whoops. So a little bit of that. Copy. Make that go away. There we go. Yep, I missed a save button. Okay, here we go. Now let's bring the thing back again. Welcome back. Okay, now let's try this again. Parameters are the same. Yep. Now we shouldn't get the error because all my environment variables are actually in there. And let's see what happens. Damn. Still an error. Oh, duh. Copy that over. Right. Did that wrong. That's what happens when you stream and talk at the same time, I guess. That I literally wrote that SQL parameterized statement like I was writing Python. That's basically what I just did. Okay, let's redeploy. I'll copy these parameters, and then we'll go back to functions. And once these are done deploying, we should try it. We should be good to go after that. Okay. Good to go. Let's go back into our refresh our functions here. Go back in and try it again. I gotta run out here. I'm losing time. We have time to try one more time. Okay. So here we go. Oh my gosh, it makes me re-add environment variables again. Because I redeployed it, yeah. Holy moly, it's a struggle. Because for this worker yet, technically you can set up your environment. You don't have to manually do it like I'm doing it right now. Technically, when you set up the environment properly to deploy the function, you can deploy it with environment variables. I'm obviously not doing that because we're on stream, and because it's a brand new function I was just writing. In the future, obviously, do that so you don't have to do this over and over. Yeah. Let's take that away and bring this back. Okay. Pull this back over here. So now I have my environment variables in there. Parameters are still straight. See what happens. Just a little back and forth testy poo. There we go. Boom. In. Perfect. That's perfect. Perfect. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to finish adding these because I think there's a few domains for this. So there's one there. There's another one here, like that, for the same program. So I'll run that. Put that one in there. And like I said, I think in maybe a different stream or something like that, I might, you know, do it so I can batch add, obviously, instead of these like little teeny ones. This is a pretty good start. And again, you can make these functions like basically turn them into an API if you want to. Yeah. So yeah, this program is called Acronis. It's on HackerOne. It's a public program, and they have a few like just basically wildcard C domains, and that's all I did was I just threw them into my domain thing. So now in my daily scans run, it'll run against those as well. So that's pretty good. We made a function. Nice. And it works. And added stuff in. So I'm going to have to stop it there, though. If you haven't, follow me on Twitter. Check out the YouTube and stuff like that if you like the content. Hopefully I can get the VOD up. But for anyone who's still here, thanks for being here. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.